Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is my first time in Amsterdam and I'm traveling solo. I wanted this trip to be slower and more intentional, not just seeing the city, but understanding its rich history and cultural significance. This would be a continuation of my solo trip through Europe last summer. The first part to Iceland is already uploaded if you guys want to check it out. So, here we are in the Netherlands. On the first day, I checked into my Airbnb apartment from a really nice old man who lived alone in the next door unit. The first thing I noticed immediately was that the stairs were so steep, and there's no elevator either, so my host essentially helped me carry all of my stuff upstairs. But look how cute everything is. Amsterdam's layout is unique with narrow buildings, curved streets, and canals that structure the entire city. No wonder people here are so fit. You have to bike everywhere, and it's faster than public transport and more convenient. I also love that it's just so walkable. As I walked along the canals, it became clear that they're not just decorative. Most of Amsterdam was underwater, and the city was built in the 17th century during the Dutch Golden Age, as the canal system was carefully engineered on top of essentially marshland. That's where the dam in Amsterdam came from. The first thing I did was stop at Winkel 43 for their famous apple strudel. It was so warm, flaky, and comforting. Later, after I was nourished, I took a canal tour to see the city from the water. I learned that the houses along them were taxed by width, which is why so many buildings are narrow and tall. And they're kind of leaning forward a little bit too, because people would haul heavy things from a rod hanging from a window, and the houses are tilted forward so that the stuff wouldn't hit the walls. It made me appreciate how much of Amsterdam is the result of intentional urban design. I also went to the Anne Frank Museum, which is in the same building that she was hiding in during World War II. I wasn't allowed to record anything, but I highly recommend everyone to please come here at least once in your life. The story of this little but brave girl has shown me that hope still prevails in the most trying times of war. Day 2 started at the Rijksmuseum, meaning National Museum. It's more than just an art museum, it's a record of Dutch history. One of the most interesting things to see was the live restoration of the Night Watch by Rembrandt. Not shown here, but the conservators who worked tirelessly to renew the painting to preserve it for centuries later. Moving through the museum, you can trace the rise of Dutch trade, wealth, and global influence, and also the complexity behind it. It's not about art, but it's also about power, exploration, and identity. After a few hours there, I broke for lunch at a local ramen store, then I visited the Miffy shop. Miffy, or Inja in Dutch, was created in the Netherlands, and her simple design reflects the Dutch's value in minimalism. That simplicity is likely why she's remained popular across the world, and especially in Asia. Of course, I had to get myself a fluffy keychain. Next stop, you also cannot forget about the stroop waffle. This is a classic Dutch treat with thin waffles pressed around warm caramel syrup and covered in chocolate sauce. This is the best thing I've ever eaten today. Then, of course, we'd have to talk about the bikes. A tour guide actually told me as a joke that people here learn to bike before they learn to walk, as biking isn't a lifestyle choice here, but it's a core transportation infrastructure. Around 60% of inner city trips are made by bike. It's actually way faster and more convenient. The city is designed around bikes with dedicated lanes, signals, and an unspoken system of rules. I did get yelled at a couple of times for not riding on the right side and stopping in front of cars. It's been a while since I got on one, but if not now, then when, right? So once I adjusted, biking became faster and most natural way to move through Amsterdam for me. Then I spent the rest of the day just wandering, including a walk through the red light district. I felt super safe walking around. I don't think that anything phases me at all, to be honest. I'm more impressed about the architecture than anything else. Then day 3 was actually the most unexpected day of my trip. I didn't know this was happening, but the host told me about the Sail Festival. This is an event that takes place every 5 years, although this time it was a 10-year gap since last time because they skipped the 2021 due to COVID, and it was also to celebrate Amsterdam's 750th birthday and also 50 years since the first Sail Amsterdam event was held. So I got really lucky because they only had this in the 1 week that I was in Amsterdam for. There were ships from all over different countries, and there were huge lines to go see the inside of them. After the crowds, I returned to solo exploring. There were so many museums that I wanted to go, but I didn't have time, so I chose to go on a guided tour to the Van Gogh Museum. The guide was really helpful in explaining Van Gogh's story of being a Dutch-born aspiring artist who went through hardships in life and never really lived long enough to see his creations come to fruition. I felt inspired by his art and told myself to never give up, just like he never did. As the day and trip was coming to an end, I decided to freestyle the rest of the night, which is a rare but my favorite part when traveling anywhere. I wandered through a flea market, walked without direction, and sat down for dinner alone. Traveling solo makes it easier to reflect. There's space to think, observe, and absorb. I ended my night with live music, dim lighting, and a room full of strangers sharing the same moment, without conversation. Amsterdam taught me that cities can be both beautiful and functional. The canals, the bikes, the art, all of it offered me a glimpse into what life could be overseas, and I learned so much over the little 3 days I was here. Next time, I want to come back and take the day trip to see the windmills and go visit other adjacent cities as well. This trip reminded me that understanding a place adds another layer to experiencing it, and that traveling alone gives you the time to truly notice that. Thank you everyone for following along, and I hope to see you in my next video across Europe. Spoiler alert, I'll be going to a very magical place. See ya!